Good morning, students. Welcome to the physics class. So, students, our today's topic is friction. So, what is friction? Whenever a body moves or tend to move over a surface of another body, a force comes into play which acts parallel to the surface of contact and opposes the relative motion. This opposing force is called friction. So basically, as you can see in the diagram, here a box want to move in this direction. This is the motion direction. It is moving, or we can see it is sliding over this surface. This is fixed. This surface is fixed. This is fixed surface. This is moving. Now, students, due to this sliding motion, here at the contact of both the surfaces, a force acts. That force is called frictional force, and it is always opposite to the direction of motion. If the direction of motion is this, then force of friction will be in this direction. So, this is the friction. Next, we have laws of limiting force. So, basically, there are we have four laws. Limiting friction depends upon, first is limiting friction depends upon nature of surface. तो वो सरफेस कैसा है, लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करेगी कि अगर वो दैट सरफेस इज स्मूथ पॉलिश्ड देन देयर विल बी लेस फ्रिक्शन. इफ दैट सरफेस इज वेरी मच रफ देन द फ्रिक्शन फोर्स विल बी मोर. सेकेंड, द लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन एक्ट्स टेंजेंशियली to the two surfaces in contact and in a direction opposite to the motion of the body. Second ये है कि वो एक्ट कैसे करेगी, दैट विल बी ऑपोजिट टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ मोशन. कि अगर बॉडी इधर को जा रही है तो फोर्स, फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स ऑपोजिट लगेगा इसकी. थर्ड क्या है, द वैल्यू ऑफ फ्रिक्शनल लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ एरिया. कि सरफेस एरिया कितना भी हो वो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स को डिपेंड नहीं करेगा. दैट विल नॉट इफेक्ट द फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स. फोर्थ इज लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू नॉर्मल रिएक्शन बिटवीन द टू सर्फेसेस. सो बेसिकली this is directly proportional to the reaction. So here we have Fs is equal to mu, and mu is equal to limiting friction to the normal friction, and mu is coefficient of friction, or we can say mu is the, we have here, yes, we have mu is the proportional constant and is called coefficient of friction. Next we have laws of kinetic friction. So basically kinetic friction opposes the relative motion and has constant value. ठीक है, ये अपोज करेगी relative motion को. Secondly, the value of kinetic friction is independent of area. जैसे पहले हमने पढ़ा limiting friction में, that it does not depend upon the area. Third is kinetic friction does not depend on velocity. velocity के ऊपर depend नहीं करती. Fourthly, it is also directly proportional to the normal friction, normal reaction. ठीक है, here mu k is coefficient of kinetic friction. Next we have sliding friction and rolling friction. So first of all, what is sliding friction? This is basically the force of friction when a body slides over another body. जब दो बॉडीज एक दूसरे के ऊपर स्लाइड करती हैं देन दिस फ्रिक्शन कम्स इनटू प्ले. और रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन क्या होती है? व्हेन वन बॉडी रोल्स ओवर द अदर बॉडी. ठीक है, तो एक बॉडी अगर रोल करे दूसरी सरफेस के ऊपर देन रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन कम्स इन द प्ले. हियर वी हैव लॉज ऑफ रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन. First is rolling friction is directly proportional to normal reaction, and rolling friction is inversely proportional to the radius of the rolling cylinder. So these are two laws. Next we have centripetal force. So what is centripetal force? A force required to make a body move along a circular path with uniform speed is called centripetal force. तो यहाँ पे जैसे आप देख सकते हो basically this F represent the centripetal force and it tries to make the body in circular motion. As here we can see the body is going in this direction, but force on this acting in this direction, so it turns, and again here we can see the velocity is in this direction but force is in this direction, so it again turns. So similarly it turns at every point and become around. So this is basically the centripetal force. So students, when a body moves is in uniform circular motion, its velocity continuously changes due to its direction. As its direction changes, so its velocity also changes. So we can also have the acceleration, because when change of velocity then always there is acceleration. So that acceleration is given by this formula and it is called centripetal acceleration. It is equal to v square upon r, or we can say r omega square. So according to Newton's law, force is equal to mass into acceleration. So we have this formula mv square upon r or mr omega square. So this is the centripetal force.